All right. Hello, my name is Rajan. My topic today will be about GERD, or the gastroesophageal reflux disease. Now, before we even start, I just want to quickly mention one thing. Yesterday, I mentioned that in my other speech, but then I went home and I ate late at night. So guess who kind of woke up with a little bit of heartburn? I did. Okay, and so as like many of y'all. Now, I do want to touch on this topic because it relates to my mother. She loves cooking, like all the mothers. They love cooking, they love feeding us, and they love doing everything else for us. But it catches up to them, especially my culture. And they add a lot of spice. However, there was one particular time when my mom was just eating and she complained about heartburn a little bit too much, to where it's like, okay, it's not just heartburn. This is not just a simple, oh, I'm just gonna move on, take medication. No, this is more than that. And my sister, who is a nurse, almost right then and there said, okay, mom, you do not just have heartburn. It might be more than that. Now, this might come into your lives too, about pepperoni, pizza, or whatever you might be eating late at night. But I will say, do take this with precaution. And my thesis mainly on this is going to be based on this, about the biology of GERD, how we can understand it, the diets, cultural diets, whatever it may be, that might be influencing this, and then lastly, about ways that it is treatable and preventable. All right. So the biology itself. A lot of people here bio majors and just health in general. So it should be kind of simple to kind of get along with, to make sure that there isn't a misunderstanding. And in our esophagus, there is a specific structure called the lower esophageal sphincter. You guys have probably heard of it. But what basically happens during this, just think of the esophagus as like a tight rubber band almost. And remember, it's only one way down. So do not, what happens in the disease is it pops back up towards that. There's that reflux nature to it. And my first source, Dr. Teresa Cloret, a gastroenterologist from Missouri Medicine, says that the Les itself, the sphincter, when it gets weakened, it does it to where the acid escapes upwards. It's not good for you. It causes a lot of tissue damage, okay? Again, think of it like a fortress. If that shield is gone, it is not good news for you. And there are other terms they can think of. I think pyrosis, that you guys are familiar with that. That's just heartburn, that's all it is. And there's also difficulties swallowing, like dysphagia. There's, let's see here, Dr. Philip Katz of American Journal of Gastroenterology. He also talked about hidden symptoms. This is something to be very wary about. And then it's the persistent dry coughs. If you also have throat clearing a lot. And the one that really gets to me is called globius. It's that permanent feeling that you can't swallow at all. It's like it's tightening. So be wary about that. All right. So transitioning from the biology itself to just diet and lifestyle. This is something that we can all relate to. Okay, whatever cuisines you guys are familiar with. From Indian cuisines to American cuisines, we have spices and we have a lot of oils. So Dr. Bhatia of the Indian Journal of Gastroenterology says that data proves that spices themselves directly correlate and actually trigger severe reflux. Okay, that is true, and oily foods too. And it could range, like I said, from anything from my mom's curry to Buffalo Wild Wings. And the onions and garlic, this is one that I did not even know about, but onions and garlic, they're actually direct irritants of GERD. Not like direct causes, but like irritants. So this is a very big one with portion timing and whatnot. If you go to sleep right after you eat a heavy meal, you can feel like your chest is kind of burning a little bit. One of the reasons is because it does not have time. Your acid, it kind of just slides up, so it doesn't really have time since you have so much food in your belly still. That's kind of the best way they kind of described it. Of the gravity flow. Dr. Katz kind of described that you just ate and just kind of refluxes back up. Source 4 for mine is also from Dr. Wick. He is the head of the World Journal of GI Surgery. And he basically says one of the ways to kind of relieve this is caffeine. So whether it might be like a chai tea latte, or it could be just black coffee like Dr. Bailey kind of drinks. Yes, that is a good way. So let's just say, again, you should not drink it at night, but let's say you have like a heavy meal, spices, just drink that. That will help out. All right, lastly, for our complications and for just treatment in general, behaviorally, you can do a lot of things. This is the best one, is if you're sleeping, you can just sleep like a little bit higher, like 6 to 9 inches higher. It kind of helps with that because gravity flows. That's kind of how it is. So it doesn't go upwards instead of, that's it's just a one way. You do not want it to go upwards. Also, Dr. Katz kind of gave a guideline of medications you can use. Antacids, you can just buy that over the counter. You can also use H2 blockers. Now these are prescribed. However, the gold standard is a protein pump inhibitors. You do not need to worry about what that is. All it does is that it kind of heals the tissue damage, the permanent tissue damage that was caused by it. And then the complications, you could have esophageal structure damage, the way it gets tightened, but there are preventive measures. So lastly, with the conclusion, we've talked about many things, but one of the things that you have to just know about yourself and other people is that this is permanent, okay? As in this could be a long-lasting permanent thing if you guys do not take care of it, okay? So do not just pop antacids. It will fix it for the short term. But I promise, you need to do more than just that. If you have a stubborn uncle like I do, they're like, oh, it's catching up to me, my heartburn. It's like, no, it's not gonna catch up to you. You're gonna have that permanent damage. So my best advice, talk to them, be with family, just make sure that they don't just scoff it off as a one-way thing. And lastly, don't micromanage everything. Science has got your back. So trust in the science, talk to your doctor, and yeah, thank you.
All right. Yeah.